€400,000. Across much of Europe, that is a comfortable budget. In Portugal, on Monday the 3rd of August, 2026, it may not be enough to buy you a home. That is the striking conclusion of a Euronews report published this morning, and it captures just how far this market has drifted from its old reputation as the affordable corner of Western Europe. A decade ago that some bought a generous flat in central Lisbon with money left over. Today buyers report it stretching to far less, particularly in Lisbon, Porto, and along the Algarve coast, where international purchasing power and Portuguese wage levels sit worlds apart. Portugal has become one of the clearest cases in the European Union of house prices decoupling almost entirely from local incomes. So what changed? The biggest policy shift came in October 2023, when the Mais Habitação package stripped residential property purchases out of Portugal's Golden Visa scheme, ending the route that had drawn years of overseas capital into flats and townhouses. Shortly afterwards, the non-habitual resident tax regime was closed to new applicants and replaced with a much narrower scheme aimed at research and innovation. Then in August 2024 the government moved to help younger Portuguese buyers, exempting under 35s from IMD property transfer tax and stamp duty on a first home, and offering a state guarantee that made 100% mortgages possible. Prices kept climbing anyway. This is not just a Portuguese story either. Euronews reported today that second-hand home prices in neighboring Spain have risen 16.2% in a single year. The human effect is visible right now. Teachers, nurses and hospitality workers who serve central Lisbon increasingly commute in from Almada, Barreiro, or Setúbal, because living near their workplace is arithmetically impossible on a Portuguese salary. Young adults stay in the family home well into their 30s. Renters absorb the overspill, because every household locked out of buying stays in a rental market already squeezed by short-term holiday lettings. It is worth remembering how broadly homelessness is defined internationally. It covers not only rough sleeping but people cycling between temporary accommodation, hostels, and the spare rooms of friends and family. On that measure, housing stress in Portugal reaches far more people than official rough sleeping counts suggest, and a €400,000 asking price is the symptom, not the disease. Where does this go next? The binding constraint is supply. Portugal is not building enough homes, and construction is slowed by labor shortages, elevated material costs, and lengthy municipal licensing. Demand-side measures like tax exemptions and state-backed mortgages hand buyers more firepower, which in a supply-constrained market tends to feed straight into asking prices rather than into affordability. With European central bank rates well below their 2023 peak, borrowing is cheaper than it was, which supports prices further. Realistically, expect continued upward pressure through the autumn of 2026 rather than a correction. The indicators worth watching are the quarterly house price data from Portugal's Statistics Institute INE, Bank of Portugal commentary on valuation risk, and the pace of new building permits. The lesson from Portugal on the 3rd of August, 2026 is that a headline budget number means very little without local context. €400,000 is a serious sum, yet in Lisbon, Porto, or the Western Algarve it now buys a modest property rather than a landmark one. Removing Golden Visa property incentives and closing the old tax regime did not reverse the trend, because the shortage is structural. If you are buying, look hard at the interior, at the Alentejo, or at commuter towns beyond the coastal hotspots, where the same money still goes considerably further. And treat any Iberian purchase as a long-term commitment, not a quick trade, because Spain's 16.2% annual rise shows the whole peninsula is running hot.